kitchen. This is so crazy and surreal that this is finally happening. I've been wanting to do this for so long. If you know me, you know. And you know, what better time to finally start than these wild times we're living in. I know a lot of us are out of work and stressed and panicking right now. You know, and nobody wants to stress about where they're going to eat or what their next meal is going to be or how they're going to afford it. So I'm hoping that with this video, or in future videos, I can help you guys see that you can make delicious food without spending a lot of money. And oftentimes you can just use a lot of the things that you already have on hand in your pantry, your fridge, your freezer. All right, so today we're gonna be making a take on my boy Chris Morocco. Actually, he's not my boy, I don't know him, but Chris Morocco from Bon Appetit Test Kitchen. Shout out to those guys because they're awesome. He made a spicy sweet sambal pork ramen noodle, which seemed really easy to kind of make your own. So I figured this would be a great recipe to get started with you guys. So that's it. Let's go ahead and jump in. I guess first things first, we got our packs of instant ramen, so definitely doesn't have to be anything fancy. These are less than $5 for 4 packs, so it's really quick and easy little option. You can even use like top ramen, which is even cheaper, so that's a great start. And then in addition to that, we got the Sambal Olek, of course, which is a chili, garlicky, spicy, super spicy sauce actually. So you can use something like this, you can use sriracha, you can use any hot sauce that you have, really. And in addition to that, we got a little bit of sage. We got some dairy-free butter because the housemate is lactose intolerant, so we're not trying to put nobody in pain. Got a little bit of brown sugar. Got some carrots from, we made some pasta last night, so feel free to throw whatever veggies you got in there. Got some onion, garlic, the staples. A little bit of green onion, tomato paste. And then with these little packets of noodles, they come with the seasoning packs, which are super high in sodium, so you don't have to use those. If you have something nicer on hand, you can always just make your own sauce with soy sauce, or you can do, what else we got over there? You can do like a miso bouillon or chicken bouillon, whatever, like if you're vegetarian, doesn't matter. So yeah, you can make your own sauce, and then we have just a little bit of sugar, vinegar, sesame oil, just your typical Asian staples. So make it your own. You can add fish sauce if you want to funk it up a little bit. But yeah, let's see. And oh yeah, we're also going to use we have some green beans that we needed to use. So we're just going to char these bad boys under the broiler with a little bit of brown sugar, soy sauce, sesame oil. So just as an accoutrement to these noodles. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, and of course, mixture of pork and sausage right here. Got a little compost bowl because every day is Earth Day, waste not, want not. And yeah, and then I also have like a little margarita here because I heard that tequila helps with nerves. So cheers to y'all. Happy quarantine. Hopefully y'all are healthy and safe out there. Cheers. All right. So I guess without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Let's get this out of the way. All right, man. Yeah, like I said, this is so weird. Like I've been wanting to do this for like the past 4 years and have been too scared to actually do it. But if this quarantine has taught me anything, is that you never know what's going to happen. So might as well just put your best foot forward in everything that you do. So here we are. But yeah, first things first, we're going to go ahead and get our produce ready. So what I like to do is basically cut it in half. Just kind of gives you a little bit of stability. And then I like to cut off the ends, trimming off as little as possible so you can utilize as much of the onion as possible. I like to cut off this end as well, just with this particular preparation method, just because you don't have to, it's not going to be like a super micro dice or anything, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to make a quick little slivers out of this bad boy. Yeah, if I can get it unpeeled, that would be awesome. All right, that. Okay, go ahead and slice this bad boy up. You definitely want a sharp knife with this, just because it kind of helps with crying. I'm still probably gonna cry a little bit, but we'll see. Yeah, just like little thin slivers. Doesn't have to be anything fancy or super accurate. Okay, so take those, add those to your bowl. Should have gotten a bigger bowl, but that's okay. Making it work, making it work. All right. And then next, I'm gonna take 4 cloves of garlic. Just kind of give them a little whack and peel. Well, 2 of these are already peeled. They came from HelloFresh meal kit, so you know, like I said, utilize what you got. Plus a couple fresh cloves. I'm gonna give them a gentle whack. You don't have to like smash them to oblivion. I'm just gonna do like a moderate medium slice on these. Get that skin out of there. Okay, and then just want to run your knife through it. So, kind of pull the Andy Barragani and try to look at you guys slice because he's so cool. But yeah, how you guys been holding up during the quarantine? Everybody's staying healthy and safe and entertained, I hope. Yeah, me and my housemate have pretty much just been cooking, eating, having an occasional margarita, and by occasional I mean maybe every day, whatever, don't judge me. Started working out finally, so it's all about balance, you know? And again, with this garlic, you don't want it to be super fine, just because you don't want it to burn or anything. And then we're gonna cook this at a pretty high temperature. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar to it to help with caramelization. So yeah, just like some thin little slivers, like so. Just gonna throw that all. And typically I do start the onion first before the garlic, but it's gonna get cooked a little bit differently today, so you'll see all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the same bowl as the onion. Compost. Right, got that going. And then we got a little knob of ginger. And I just like to take the back of a spoon, or whatever side, doesn't really matter. But you can just scrape off the skins. I think it's okay to eat the skins, so it doesn't really matter if you take them off or not. Like, it's gonna get sliced up anyway, but I feel like this one is a little bit past its prime, so we're gonna take off that little tough skin action that's going on. So, and if you miss a spot, that's okay. A little bit extra fiber for you. It's always makes a mess. I forgot about that. And then I would just slice it in half, and then just want to make little thin strips out of it. Just I like ginger. I love ginger actually, so a big old chunk's not gonna matter to me, but just not to offend anybody else. Just want to do tiny little slivers on that, or you could even grate it up if you wanted to, just to have it completely disappear into the sauce. But I'm just gonna do thin little slivers and just run my knife through it. One more time after the fact. Doesn't have to be like a micro mince again, so just kind of make it palatable, if you will. Okay, so all the aromatics are pretty much going into this tiny bowl. Yeah, put that right to the side, like so. Clean off your cutting board. And like I said, we had some extra carrots, so we'll throw that in there when we saute and deglaze the pan. Let's see. And then I let it sit out for just a little bit to come up to temperature, to room temperature, just because that helps with the caramelization. It's not like seasoning up like right when it goes to a hot pan. So this is about 10 ounces of ground pork. And then you have one like hot Italian sausage link, just because I had one left over from some pasta that we made. So just want to take your clean hands in there, mash it up all together, just so you got some even flavor distribution. Mix it up. Oh yeah, it smells porky. And kind of mash it flat there. I guess you'll see why I'm doing that in a little bit. Not that this step is really essential, but just have my weird little methods to what I do. So set that there. Let's wash these real dry. All right, and then on that note, I think that's all the prep that we really need to do. Actually, let's go ahead and slice up the herbage that's gonna be going up in here. Chris used a little bit of fresh basil in his, which was awesome. I love basil and like sausage and spice. However, my basil plants, I just moved recently, and my basil plants got a little like, tossed up during the move, so they're outside recovering. But we're gonna do a little bit of sage, because I love sage and pork together. It's like a nice earthy kind of like, not mellow flavor, but it's like not overpowering with the pork and the spice, so I think it all blends together nicely. So we will just go ahead and stack these up. We'll do a little chiffonade, I guess, if you will, which you can also just tear it, but chiffonade is just like thin ribbons. So it's gonna stack them up and then roll them up together. And then, you know, bear claw, of course, and then a good grip on your knife. Just wanna run it through just once, just to make thin little ribbons. And you don't want to like chop your herbs to oblivion just because you're going to bruise it and release all the oils and flavors onto your cutting board. And we want them in the pot, so be sure not to just over process your veg. I know it's fun to get in here and hack it up, but you don't need to do all that. So add that to the bowl. Then we got our onions. Let's get this out of the way. Did I mention that we got tomato paste too? I'm gonna use some of that because I feel like tomato paste is something that you buy and you're always trying to figure out ways to use it besides like putting it in your marinara sauce. So I think the tomatoes and the sambal, like they'll balance each other really well. You got a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of tanginess, a little bit of spice. So yeah, we're gonna add that up in there. But yes, let's go ahead and take these here green onions. Those guys back into the bowl. I swear I'm gonna use a bigger bowl for this next time. I thought that was gonna do the job. It didn't. All right, so I just want to take these guys. I like to line them up by the stems, chop off that little bit. And if you wanted to, like, you know, this is kind of like minimal, but like if you had a good bit of peels and stems or whatever, you could save that, freeze it, make a little veggie stock later, make a chicken stock if you add a chicken into there. So yeah, you know, just try to be efficient during this time and utilize every ingredient that you can to get through however long this is gonna last. So yeah, go ahead and we will do this, let's say, on a little bit of a bias just because that always looks pretty. So you got a nice little angle to it. So yeah, just go through it. You don't need to be super precise. It's all going into some nudes. So yeah, forgot about this guy. I'm gonna get in there too. Yeah. All right. So this will just be to finish at the end. Okay, and now I think we are ready to start cooking. So let's go ahead over to the stove. First things first, you definitely want to preheat your pan before you add your oil in there. I don't know the exact science behind it, but I feel like it does better with conducting the heat of the oil. Then, you know, it doesn't if you put your oil in right in the beginning as it's heating up, I feel like by the time you get ready to put your food in there, oil's gonna be too hot, things gonna start to burn. So I kind of like to heat in layers. Heat your pan, add your oil, heat the oil, and then go ahead and sear your meats. So go ahead and grab our meats. Okay, be back. Our pan's hot, we're ready to go. Go ahead and add a little bit of olive oil just to coat the bottom. Because this pork's pretty lean, so you want a little bit of fat in there. And I like to do something kind of flexible. Just take this kind of meat patty situation out. Put it flat in there. You can go in there too, bud. Okay, so like I was saying before, the reason I like to make that like meat patty situation in the bowl before I put it in is so that it can go in there as flat as possible, get a little bit of a surface area contact so we get that nice caramelization and develop mint of flavors. So I know it's very tempting to want to sit there and stir it, but you just want to let it sit and develop that color. And you can kind of just look at the size of the meat, and when that starts to get to be a little bit more brown and opaque, that's how you know it's time to go ahead and kind of flip it, crumble it, and let it keep caramelizing. See, I went ahead and grabbed my spoon. I was about to do it. Don't do it. Typically, I would have some music on right now, but that's against the rules of YouTube, I guess, like copyrights and whatnot. So you don't listen to the sweet sounds of this sizzle. Alright, see some brown bits starting to happen up in there. Let's see. Let it go for just another minute or so. Some good colors developing, so you don't want to mess that up. And I didn't add any seasoning to this just because there's so much going on here. And then also the sausage has some spices and there's a hot Italian sausage. So definitely if you don't have a higher heat tolerance, you can substitute against sriracha for the sambal, which is going to be less spicy. You can do a mild or sweet Italian sausage, something that's not going to give any heat at all. But me, personally, I like a little bit of spice. So why not make that? But yeah, I think we're good to go ahead and kind of give this a little flip. Boom. Try not to break it up just yet. Kind of flip it so everybody gets some time in the pool. That pool of grease. Ah. Yeah, good flavor, and it's good all the fats rendering out because we will cook our aromatics in that. So you don't need to add too much more oil to the pan. Now, start breaking this up a little bit. I'm gonna go for this a little bit longer. I'll do that. Get a nice caramelization. Man, this is so much harder than people make it look like. Like, Molly Baz, what's up? But yeah, that's just funny happening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Alright, so now we can go ahead and start breaking this up a little bit. Now that we got a little bit more color on that other side. This was almost a one-pot dish, but I decided to go ahead and cook the noodles separately, just so they don't get weird in here. Plus, that gives us an opportunity to extract some good pasta water, which we can always use to finish the sauce with if it needs a little bit of thickening and flavor. Although I'm not going to salt this water as I will with like a spaghetti. So, just going to break this up a little bit. If you want to, you can use like a potato masher to get it super fine. I don't mind some larger crumbles. So it's fine. Just kind of toss that all in the fat. So if there's a little bit of pink left in here, that's fine because this is going to simmer for a little bit before we add the noodles. So don't worry about cooking it into oblivion. So yeah, just going to break this up a little bit. Alright, so once that's mostly cooked, we can go ahead and add our onions, ginger, garlic, like so. And just kind of let that all start to sweat. We don't really want to develop too much color on it, like it doesn't need to be caramelized or anything like that. Just want to like release those flavors and aromatics, and it smells so good. Nope. Nice try, buddy. All right, so adding that dropped the temperature a little bit, so I am going to turn it back up just a little bit. I'm going to add just another little drizzle of olive oil. Not too much. It's enough to lubricate everybody. Alright, let's saute that up. Alright, so that's starting to sweat out a little bit. As you can see, those onions are getting a little bit more translucent in there. So just want to keep an eye on it, kind of keep it moving around a little bit just so your garlic doesn't burn. But yeah, what are some other fun quarantine recipes you guys have been making? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're doing that, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, all that good stuff when I have it. I don't yet, but I will. But yeah, what are some fun things you guys are making? What are you doing to stay busy? I know everybody's doing like Zoom and house party, like video chat apps, Facebook, all that good stuff. So it's important to stay connected to people. I'm an introvert, so it's, you know, I don't mind being alone, but it is important to keep your mind active, do something fun, get in the kitchen, get in the garden, do some exercise. But yeah, you know, just kind of make a routine, I guess, for yourself is really helpful to stay mentally healthy and physically healthy during these wild times. Yeah, so this is almost where we need it to be. I'm going to go ahead and add my sage now. Typically I would add fresh herbs towards the end, but I kind of want to let these like stew in when I add in the broth and everything. So go ahead and add your sage. Alright, so now that that's all in there, I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. Yeah, black tablespoon. There we go. And it's important to add this before you add your liquids or anything else saucy, just because you want it to brown and caramelize a little bit so you get that tinny kind of metal flavor out of there. Just kind of break that up into your sauce, or into your pork. I guess for the next video I need to do chicken wings, because I posted that the other day and y'all freaked out about it. So definitely gonna do that. Pro tip, the best way to do it, of course, double cook it, but bake and then fry. But I'll show you guys how I actually do it in the next video, or an upcoming video. I can't guarantee it's the next one. But all right, so that is nice and caramelized in there. Do that. So now you're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of sugar. That's gonna further, or push that caramelization a little bit further. Gonna also, just gonna toss that around. Also add a little bit of vinegar, and stand clear because it's gonna open up the passages a little bit. That's about 2 teaspoons of vinegar. Whew. Jumped up and got me. Okay, and then you wanna go ahead and add your sambal. So that's about 1/4 cup. You can do more or less depending on your spice tolerance. Gonna get all that out. Almost forgot about my carrots, but that's okay. Throw those in there now. In a perfect world, those would have gone in with the onions, but you know, it's neither here nor there. Like I said, it's gonna stew, so they'll soften up. You need to cook everything to oblivion, but oh my god, this smells so good. Alright, so you're getting that nice color development there. Starting to scrape up a little bit of those bits on the bottom. So now, I'm going to go ahead and grab my water. Get that out of the way. Turn this down just a little bit, just so nothing burns. So you want to take your flavor packs and go ahead and shake it the other way. Not like a Polaroid picture. Actually, just like a Polaroid picture. Okay, add your flakes as well, kind of get those rehydrated. It's like chilies and seaweed and green onion. What else is in here? I don't know. I love noodles. I like the Samyang ones. Those are nice and chewy, but these aren't bad. These are definitely cheaper and available at the grocery store versus Samyang, again, non-spons, but we could be, that I get on Amazon. But those are back ordered to hell right now, and also we're doing this on a budget with what we got in the house. So yeah, go ahead and toss all your flakes in there. Okay, I'm gonna turn this back up a little bit. Give this a little stir. Give it a taste. Perfect. Got a nice little spice to it. Oh yeah. Alright, so then go ahead and add this to your pot. You want that to deglaze a little bit. Yeah, so see those bits on the bottom start to kind of come up. I can feel it. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I just kind of want to let that go. I'm gonna add a little bit more water just because I want this to reduce a little bit, and it's already looking a little thick. So I'm gonna add a splash more water. Yeah. That's what's great about cooking, is you can kind of tweak it to your own taste. So I'm gonna let this come back up to a gentle boil and then drop it to a simmer. Just kind of, again, let this reduce a little bit. And then, so yeah, once that comes up, we'll go ahead and turn our water, get that going. Okay, so that'll come up a little bit further or faster just because a watch pot doesn't boil. Yeah, clean up some of this. And then I guess while we're waiting for all that to happen, we can go ahead and mix up our glaze for our green beans. So we got a little bit of light brown sugar, a little bit of soy sauce. Kind of do that just to get it wet. That's probably about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, measured-ish. And then we got probably about a teaspoon. So while that's bubbling away, go ahead and get your green beans. We had just a couple leftovers, so nothing crazy here. And then just take your, just kind of mash them up together. And then take your sauce. Just make sure they're all evenly coated. Should have probably put some aluminum foil down, but you know, you live and you learn. Plus, this is obviously a brand new pan that I bought just for you guys, so. Alright. And I'm not going to make them too far apart just because that kind of helps insulate them because they're going directly under the broiler. You got brown sugar in here, so you don't want that to overly caramelize, aka burn. So kind of get them a little closer together towards the center, mask the juices, if you will. And let those sit for a second. And go ahead and turn on the broiler. Put it on high, why not? Life's short. Wash your hands. Also want to make sure one of your racks is on the very top. This doesn't get as much heat contact with those green beans as possible. So, this here, let's take another look at this guy. Oh yeah, that's what we want. Let's get in there. Alright, we got flames, baby. Throw this in here. And after this timer goes off, I'll set a timer for that just because I don't want to forget. So I'll just do like for 3-minute increments or so. Okay. Man, I bet some like crushed peanuts would be good in here, or like some fried cashews, crispy onions, but we got some green onions over there. Alright. So it's been 25 minutes. So we can go ahead, new one. And check. Oh yeah, that has reduced nicely. So now we can go ahead, add our nudes. Right? That's the last thing, right? Yeah. Well, but first we'll set a timer. 3 minutes for our green beans. Go ahead and add our noodles. It's okay if they stuck together a little bit. They'll reconstitute in that sauce. Oh yeah. A little toss, all of that deliciousness. Put that up a little bit. Get everybody all coated, saturated. Looks so good. Yeah, I might add just a little bit of this. Mix it up. We didn't add any, it's not gonna add any salt. Be mindful if you are making something like spaghetti and you do salt the water, that when you add that pasta water to the sauce, that's gonna add more salt. So be mindful of your salt that you put in as you're cooking. That's definitely something I've learned over the years. Waking up feeling like a raisin. I'm like, okay, that might have been too much salt in last night's recipe. But yeah, we're pretty much good to go here. We're just gonna add the finishing touches. Let's take another peek at our green beans. But I mean, that looks awesome. Oh yeah. So we're just gonna give these guys a little shimmy shake. Let's get some tongs just to rotate them. All right, so we drop that down just to super low. Add a little bit more of that. All right, and then go ahead and add your butter or butter substitute. Just toss the coat. Might need a little bit more butter, but you know, trying to be modest. But if you don't have butter, you can use olive oil. You can use margarine. This is Earth Balance. You can use, I got some bacon fat up there. That will be good in here. Yeah. A little garlicky piece back in there. Okay. This looks awesome. Still might add a little bit more pasta water. These noodles soak up everything. Yeah. Saucy nudes. I mean, who doesn't love a saucy nude? Am I right? All right, and I'm gonna turn this off because Dutch ovens are awesome at retaining heat. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw in these green onions, just so that they don't really need to cook, they just need to perfume the nudes. And yeah, you have a spicy, sweet Sambal pork noodle, quarantine edition. Y'all, make this. This probably costs like $10 to $12 to make this whole pot. And yeah, y'all gonna be eating. Like this will last. I mean, depending on how many people you have, but for family of four, everybody should be able to get at least 2 portions out of this. It's like a nice warm spice, gingery, garlicky, oniony, with a sage. 10 out of 10 would recommend adding that. A little bit of fresh cilantro, and this would be really good. But yeah, you can make it your own. This is my own. So, put your own plate. Oh man, this is so good. But yeah, like I hope everybody's doing okay during this quarantine, and again, staying healthy, staying safe, social distancing. This is a great reason to stay at home. You can eat to your heart's content and not spend all your money doing it. And then still have lunch, dinner, breakfast the next day. So cheers. Y'all enjoy. Yum. So good. Wow. Great success. We out.